So, remember how before the election, Donald Trump and Alex Jones and everybody was like, Hillary for prison! Lock her up! There was chanting. There were t-shirts. I think Alex Jones has actually done a Hillary for Prison 2017 t-shirt as well. You know, really capitalizing on it as a meme or whatever. And I just haven't seen it as much as being a narrative or a theme that needs to happen or anything like that. And I think that's a shame. I think that we need to take it further, you know? I think we actually need to follow through with, you know, those chants, those promises, those wants and desires to see justice be done, because she is a corrupt individual, and I don't know what the extent of her corruption is. You have the far extreme people who seem to think that she's involved with child trafficking and drug running and stuff like that, and there might be evidence for that, I don't know. But then there's some very, very clear evidence of corruption. I mean, look at what she said about Benghazi, for instance. Benghazi wasn't because of a fucking YouTube video. It was because people came and fucking attacked our ambassador. Like, you can't blame action off of words. That's stupid. That's just, it's fucking dumb. You have to have the choice of the individual. And it wasn't even true. And then, you know, our ambassador kills, and what happens? There wasn't even like an outrage from the government, you know, other than, you know, it gave them an excuse to go bomb the crap out of more countries, I guess. Which is baffling to me too. Like, why would you do that? Why do we need to be involved in wars in 7 different countries? I have no idea what's going on with this. Anyway, so you have that corruption, the corruption with like Benghazi and shit like that. But then you've got the email server, which is very, very, very clearly a law that's been broken. You know, that's national security right now. Right there, you can't, you know, jeopardize national security by breaking, you know, classified protocol. And this was top secret shit, you know. She was, what was she was like, what, Secretary of Defense or something like that. Some crazy position where she could start wars and be a maniacal psychopathic asshole. I love my narrative that I have about Hillary Clinton. I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but there's been so much shit thrown at her that it's really hard to tell the truth from the lies, because you have the left saying, hey, she's a complete and total angel, and the right's going, ha, fuck you. No, she's batshit crazy evil. And I'm not sure which it is, if either. But either way, her corruption's pretty clear. And I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that she's been taking money from the Saudis for a long time, which right there, that just puts you in conflict of interest, I think, to be any sort of political position high up in the United States. If you're actively receiving lots and lots of money to your foundation from foreign countries that aren't necessarily agreeable to the United States being in power, or to our values. So that's a little fucked up for a U.S. official. So there's a lot of corruption in her. I don't know how much of it's true. Like, there's some of it that's definitely true, and that's the shit that we definitely need to go after. And I really, really think that we need to make an example out of Hillary Clinton, because she's someone who has gotten away with this for a long time, and she's somebody who has an extreme amount of power and has had an extreme amount of power in the past, and she's very influential, she's very powerful, she has a lot of money, she receives a lot of money, or she has in the past anyway. And this isn't okay. This is a recurring theme with our elites, is that they seem to be above the law. And that's retarded. It's like all this money in the world can buy you the security of knowing if you break any law in the world whatsoever, you're going to be able to get away with it. All this power, all this influence, no one wants to fuck with you. You're on top. Well, you know what? Society's changing, and society's changing because of the internet, and because we as a people are able to talk to one another and share information about our elites. When fishy shit goes down today, it's not like it was in the 1800s or even the 1950s, where you had one mainstream media who was telling you what to think and what the president thought, and that was fucking gospel. And today we have the internet, we have so many different voices out there speaking all at once, so many different opinions. You can go to any number of channels. Like, my channel at the moment has 8 subscribers. Somebody's listening to me. Whether or not they like what I'm saying, I mean, some people have subscribed, so obviously there's some people who enjoy what I say. And so I'm reaching at least 8 people. I mean, that's not horrible. That's not exactly fucking great either, but I haven't really been going at this very hard until, you know, the last couple of days anyway, so that makes sense. I've had views on my shitty iPhone videos that I took down off my channel because I didn't like. Nobody likes the vertical frame, and so I took those down. But I had views up to like 60 or 70 views on some of those. So like even somebody like me who's a nobody, who doesn't have any power, who doesn't have any money. Trust me, I have no fucking money. I would like to have more money. It's not going to happen right at this very moment in time. But my point is that with the way that technology is and the way that our communication systems are set up, people are communicating to strangers that they've never talked to. They're being able to reach audiences greater than they normally would. Like 60 people watching one of my videos? That's crazy to me. That's insane. And I'm kind of flabbergasted at the fact. I think it was because whatever the title was something that was relevant going on at the moment in time. And so people were coming across it while YouTubing other stuff about it, which makes sense. Like, oh, this person has a video, click on her. And maybe some of them found it interesting, maybe some of them didn't. I had responses from other videos, people commenting and stuff. You can have a conversation and it doesn't have to reach very many people to make a difference. But we as a mass of people, we're sharing information faster and faster and faster. Say a riot were to break out here in Portland. Well, I could go downtown with my iPhone, film it, put it on the computer, and report it before the news media gets a hold of that footage. So the way that information is spreading is just very advantageous for freedom and for liberty and things like that, because the more knowledge you have, the more power you have. And we are very quickly gaining lots and lots of power over our elites. Before the game was, if you had authority given to you by God, you were in control. And then it became, if you have authority given to you by the people. And then it became, well, if you have authority given to you through the fact that you are easily corruptible and can be given lots of money to run for political offices and you know, buy mainstream media support, essentially. And so, you know, it's not even necessarily that the people like you, it's just that you're the one that's presented to us as the only plausible candidate, right? Like, the news media tried really hard to do that to Donald Trump, to no platform him, to smear him, to make him look like he was not a plausible candidate at all. And then because of the internet and how quickly information spreads about the lies that they were telling us, Donald Trump gets elected. Now, I'm not saying that he's not corrupt or anything like that, because I don't know. If he's corrupt, he's really good at hiding it. That's all I have to say. I would be more inclined to think that somebody like Donald Trump is actually less corrupt just because there's less shit. That, or he's incredibly intelligent. But from the way that his family acts, from the way that he runs his businesses, how much he's in the spotlight, I think it'd be really fucking hard for him to hide some sort of massive corruption. I'm not going to say that a businessman isn't corrupt, right? Because he's a businessman and he wants to make money. Or at least that's been his goal in the past. Now, I think he's made enough money for his lifetime. He's getting towards the end of his life. Maybe he chose to run as president in order to give back to his society, like he says. And if so, that's great. Maybe Trump will actually do some really good things for our country, and I really hope so. I was a really big supporter of Trump over Hillary Clinton because you didn't see the type of corruption with Trump that you saw with Hillary Clinton. It was so blatant with Hillary Clinton. How could you choose her? And this whole thing with the elites not being held accountable for their actions just leads us to this point where we have this justice system that just doesn't work anymore. We have this justice system in which it seems to be the norm now that instead of facts and evidence and reason, they have these witch hunts in which, you know, innocent people get blamed for an entire collective group's sin. Okay, so like, for instance, there was a police officer, very fishy, lack of evidence, very, very minute sort of evidence that was completely, whatever evidence there was completely propagandized. And there were all these women who came out saying that this police officer sexually assaulted them or whatever, and the story was all the same. Essentially, the police officer pulled this one woman over, and she said that he unzipped his pants, whipped out his dick, and was like, "Put it in your mouth." And if you look at like the outfits of the police officers, like, they have like, I think they have like straps that go down the front, like suspenders that hold up the pants and make them tight. And then once you actually unzip the pants and get off the suspenders and stuff, there's body armor and stuff like that, like Under Armour underwear or something that's like, just think like spandex or something. And there's just no way. There's no way that story is plausible. Maybe there is another story that could be plausible, but there's also a lot of people who get pissed at cops and want to see them suffer because they got pissed off, or they got a ticket, or they got arrested or something like that. So why not claim impropriety on the cop? But it just doesn't seem very plausible to me. And from what I understand about that particular case, there was just such a lack of evidence, but there is so much emotion behind the notion that rape victims must be believed, because in the past, some men have raped women, and that was bad. So, the collective sins of those men who have raped women in the past was put on this police officer, and he, I think, was found guilty, actually, with just such minute, evidence. Like, they were talking about, they found an epithelial cell on his pants zipper, on the outside of his pants zipper. Well, it could have been the inside, I don't remember. But it was on his pants zipper. It was from like a 14-year-old girl, something. And it was someone he acknowledges giving a ride home to and waiting with in order to, I think, talk to her parents or whatever. But either way, she was in his car. They may have touched, handshake, something. There could have been an exchange of epithelial cells through exchanging maybe like ID or something. Any numerous ways. Her just touching his car handle could have left some epithelial cells, and if he touched the car handle after her and then touched his zipper, that's how it could have gone there. That was how minute the amount of evidence there was for that. And it's, I don't know, as a rational person, you gotta look at that and go, our justice system's flawed if we let things like this slip through the cracks. Now, it's going to appeals from what I understand, but it's crazy to me that we would have a situation in which somebody is symbolically being crucified for other people's sins. Like, no, that's not how Christianity works, people. That's fucking stupid. Like, it does make you wonder what happened back in Jesus' time. Like, maybe did something like this happen where it was just a witch hunt? Did Jesus get crucified because it was a fucking witch hunt? And not that anything he was saying was necessarily bad, but he was challenging authority, or he was being forced to take on the sins of other people or something like that. Maybe that's why that narrative comes up in Christianity. I don't know. This is a new idea that has been occurring to me recently with everything that's been going on. And there's one more problem with our legal system right now, and that is our judges are right now doing what is called judicial activism, which basically means that our judges are using their own political bias in order to make rulings in the courtroom. So you saw this, like, with Trump's travel ban for the 7 states. The 7 states who happen to be Islamic, okay? No, that doesn't even make sense. No, 7 Islamic states out of, like, 42. And this, I don't know if it was he or she, but this person ruled it illegal or something, or put a ban on, or barred it or whatever from being put through. Not based on anything that she knew about what was actually going on. Not based off intelligence that, the White House had and stuff like that. Not based off of anything like that. But based on her own political beliefs. And because she didn't like Trump. I'm assuming it's a she just because I'm a girl. And we can't have that. We can't have... I mean, this is something that presidents have done throughout the presidency. Their presidencies, like, it happens literally every presidency. So there's some sort of travel ban. There's some sort of restriction on immigration. There's some sort of something that happens. And so all the presidents have done it, and it's so stupid. Okay, Trump gets into office, he does something every president has ever done, and including Barack Obama to an excessive extent. Probably out of necessity at that point, because he was bombing the shit out of all these countries and pissing them off, and then they were wanting to come over here. But, yeah. It's this type of thing, and it's like the case with that police officer. Why didn't that judge just go, what, this isn't fucking evidence? But it was enough to convince the jury, so who the fuck cares, right? Agenda pushed. And that's what today is. Today is our courtrooms are circuses, because the law doesn't fucking mean anything anymore. Judges are just gonna do what they fucking want, and it's been shown that nothing happens to them, so they're just gonna keep doing it. our legal system's just kind of fucked up right now. And I don't think that's okay. So, to me, Hillary Clinton, in a sense, is very symbolic, but she's not an innocent victim. She's not an innocent sacrifice either. She's not somebody... She actually deserves everything that she would get coming to her if she were charged. Now, I'm not saying charge her for the crimes of humanity or anything. I'm saying charge her for the crimes which you can prove that she did. And I think there are a lot of crimes, especially related to that email server, that the FBI could prove and could take her down in court with evidence and facts and reason and logic and motive and all these other things. They could do that with her. So she's not like this sacrificial lamb, this innocent creature who has the sins of other people put on her. She's going to get crucified for her own sins, and that's it. But she's going to be made an example of, to warn the elites that we're onto them, to warn them that if they step out of line, we're going to come for them next. So at this point, I think we need to light another fire under Trump's ass. Now, I should have looked this up before I started this, but I don't remember whether or not Trump has gotten all of his team confirmed yet. But he may be waiting to do that until, to confirm, to go after Hillary Clinton, because it was one of his campaign promises, all the chants, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. Those were at Trump rallies and stuff like that. And, I mean, Trump seems to be someone who likes to keep his promises, but he's also someone who's really smart and may not keep that particular promise if you think it's beneficial to keep those people on his side. As it is, I don't see why that would be the case, because they all hate him anyway. I mean, George Soros is funds tons of fucking protests against him. I think everybody who's gonna hate Donald Trump for anything that he does already hates him. And I think that actually gives Donald Trump a lot of fucking freedom in terms of, well, you hate me already, so fuck you. I'm just going to do what I want. So I think that's more of the situation. That's how I read it anyway. But Donald Trump, he hasn't, I think, is it Judge Gorsuch that he doesn't have confirmed yet? I think if he doesn't have anybody confirmed at them, if he has somebody who's not confirmed as part of his team, or if it's his Supreme Court pick who hasn't been confirmed yet, I could see him waiting to not go after Hillary Clinton until that is all settled, because if he starts to stir up the hornet's nest right now, he may not get his people confirmed, and that would be not a good thing. So that might be why he's waiting on it, but at the same time, it's not something I want to just be ignored or forgotten. I want Hillary Clinton to go to prison. I don't want her dead. I don't want her hurt. I don't want anything like that. I just want her to go to prison. So could we please punish the elite for once? Can we please punish Hillary Clinton? Can we please send her to, whatever her white collar fancy prison is going to be, or maybe house arrest, or I just want her to be made an example of. I want her to lose everything she's ever worked for. That's what I want. I don't want her hurt, but I want her humiliated to the point where she can't stand it anymore. And I want that to be an example to the rest of them. I don't think we need to kill Hillary Clinton, even though she has probably caused a lot of death through her creations of war. But at this point, I think it would be enough of a victory just to completely destroy her life. And not, actually kill her or anything like that. So yeah, those are my thoughts. So, well, I guess we'll just have to see what Trump does. I'm really hoping that he chooses to go forth and actually try to prosecute her. Although, maybe it's not his choice, but I'm sure if he put a push to do it, it would probably happen once he got in the position to be able to do it. So